Hello everyone, my name is Lowko, and welcome back to a professional match of StarCraft 2. Now what I've got for you today is the finals of the ESL Open Cup from Korea, number 209. It's not actually a Zerg versus Protoss. It is not Dark going up against herO, because apparently Dark got eliminated earlier on into the tournament. Normally it's a herO versus Dark Grand Finals, but anyways, spawning right here in game number 1, the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn. Playing right here with the red Protoss pieces, we have none other than herO. Probably not a surprise, right? Be crazy if both Dark and herO didn't make it to the finals. This time around though, herO's, I was gonna say opponent, but maybe we should call him the victim. Playing with the blue Terran pieces, we have none other than Cure. Alrighty, Cure going on against, or going up rather, against herO. Now herO, what are we doing? Cure has been a very turtly man as of late. We're really keen on building that pylon apparently. Cure's been a very turtly man. I have seen quite a bit of Cure's games as of late. I didn't watch them for like a month or so, and then every single game that I've featured Cure on recently, he's just been sitting there. He's just making a lot of stuff, and then eventually he attacks. In particular, that series that he played against Raynor comes to mind, where the man just would not move out. He did like one little attack early on, and then he decided, nope, that's it, that's all I'm gonna do. And then he, you know, slowly lost the series over the course of like an hour. Wasn't a huge fan of that approach. Now, this is Terran versus Protoss. A little bit of a different matchup, but certainly still one where Cure will be more than happy to play defensively if he can. So we'll see. Right from the get-go though, herO of course, a bit of a madman. Certainly not afraid to bring the heat across the map, and well, we've got ourselves a proxy gateway. We'll have to see exactly how much damage he can do. Making a Zealot right from the start, the idea of course is to try and slow down this command center as much as possible. Although this is not a max specs type of opener, right? Not the gateway on the other side of the map as the very, well, first gateway. This is the first gateway planted inside of the main base, and then the second gate, as it actually gets spotted over here, it is built over here on the side of the Protoss, or on the Terran rather. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. A Reaper trying to see what comes out of that gateway. What I was gonna say, I think you need to run. Try and protect that command center for as long as possible. Stalker number 1 is out. Stalker number 2 is gonna be coming up from the other side of the map momentarily as well. Adept now also building. Alrighty. So far, a lot of SCVs pulled away from their mineral lines, just trying to be as annoying as possible. Bunker is not done yet, so the Marines actually get... Oh my god, really? This is not Warcraft 3, but that was still pretty sexy. Anyways, the Marines right there got sniped before they could get into the bunker. Ultimately, though, the surround right there with the SCVs is enough, and Cure manages to stabilize. Okay. So not really the start that you're hoping for right here as Protoss, but it's not over just yet. Problem, of course, is that this gateway is gonna get shut down if he decides to let go of this aggression. So if he doesn't want to give up on this, well, early game structure that he built on the other side of the map, he needs to continue the aggression. He is expanding behind it, however, so we do have a Nexus right now on the low ground, but this opener has not really been justified yet. Cyclone available right now. Of course, the rework of the Cyclone is really nice in these scenarios. A little bit cheaper, bit easier to produce. Still just as good. Well, maybe not quite as good, but still very strong against these early game Protoss units that are sent across the map. Okay. So, good start right here for Cure. Now, my question is Cure going to attack? I think if this was, for example, Beyond playing, as soon as the first medevac comes out, which is in about 30 seconds, nah, a little less than that. As soon as the first medevac comes out, Beyond would be sending everything he's got across the map. Is that going to be the case here in this particular match? Well, first off, the Adepts have to be defended. There should be quite a bit of it available. Yeah, Widow Mine right now out as well. We'll probably send a medevac together with a bunch of Widow Mines towards the other side. I think that's a good chance, a good choice. SCVs do continue taking some damage, but nothing all too crazy. Okay. Nice position right here on the bunker. Twilight Council now finally goes down as well for herO. So is this early game justified right here for the Protoss? Not really, no. Generally speaking, at this stage in the game, we see Terran players behind as far as the worker count goes. Plus, on top of that, hero actually has all these adepts. I mean, adepts are not a terrible unit, but I think every Protoss in this situation would rather have a bunch of stalkers instead. Yeah, I don't think you can really commit here. I think we're going to be sending the units towards the main base or something like that as soon as that prism comes across the map. Now, what are we going to be using the Twilight Council for? This is hero, of course, so I'm assuming it's going to be Blink. Medevac, by the way, did indeed load up just a single Widow Mine to go across the map. Stimpack on the back of this. We'll probably see the combat shields afterwards as well, and then also the +1 upgrades as soon as the NG Bay finishes up. So far, though, very conservative play right here from Cure. Not even really bothering trying to snipe that gateway. I don't even know if he knows where it's located. Now, he has seen it. Yeah, so I'm fully expecting hero to be the one who will have to bring the heat in this particular series. Cure very much so seems to be the type of Terran who's just hanging out. Macro up, build a large force, and then eventually go across. Maybe a bit of a timing attack, but nothing all too committed. So he sees exactly what's going on inside of the main base. Robo Bay coming up right now. I don't think he saw that specifically. No, he did not have vision of the Robotics Bay, but it doesn't really matter all too much. Here go the Adepts. 2 siege tanks in the main base, though, are going to be more than enough to deal with all of this. Observer gets sniped. Yeah, denying a bit of mining time is the best we're going to do. Command Center did get delayed for a little while as well, but Cure is going to continue working away at it. Combat shields. Do we have any NG base yet? No. We're just not building any engineering base here. Just a little funky. A lot of focus on gas, but no upgrades. I'm assuming we're going to see them coming up here momentarily. I wonder if it's possible for Protoss players against Cure's current playstyle to just mass expand. For a little while, remember that like a year or two ago, we had that style from especially the Chinese Protoss players, where they just went like mass gateway, mass probe. Very little gas, just tons of zealots. The Taiwanese and the Chinese players were very fond of that particular style. We haven't really seen it as much as of late. I wonder how well it would do against this passive style of Terran. Okay, good bit of damage done though. 6 workers killed just now with just a 1 little Raven. Colossi will be coming up momentarily. Yeah, there's already 1 out, but we don't have interference matrix anyways, and it's not like hero is really in a position to just go for an all-out assault, so I don't think he really needs to Raven energy for anything else. Killing a bunch of those workers, not a bad idea. Now we are sneaking out 2 medevacs full of Marines and Marauders to watch the other side. Ghost Academy coming up. Got ourselves the Orbital Command. Yeah, and Cure is just crossing his T's, dotting his I's, making sure that it's going to be really difficult for the aggressive Protoss player here to get a lot of damage done. A little bit of shenanigans in main base. Just forcing as much lost mining time as possible right there with that 1 Widow Mine. +1 air weapons is coming up as well, yeah. So I think hero is indeed feeling the heat. He's like, yo, I guess I see where this game is going. Cure is finally moving out of his base. 8.5 minutes in. We're gonna do it mostly just to try and see if we can clear out that proxy, and then we're going back home. Recall right now on those Stalkers, maybe? No, not the recall on the Stalkers. Instead, we're gonna recall the Colossus. One of them goes down. I don't love the recall on the Colossus right there. The thing is, you don't really have any control over where these units appear around the Nexus, right? So say like you recall a bunch of your army into that Nexus over here, it's just gonna sort of appear around it. Maybe there is a way to properly control it, but generally speaking, it's just not something that's easily done. So if you recall a bunch of your army on top of a base where Terran units are already stimming, I don't think it's a great idea. I mean, it's a way to get rid of that army, but a very costly one too. So now suddenly Cure is finding himself with a 30 supply lead. 4th Command Center comes up. Rather than taking any risks here, when we are ahead, we try to get more ahead. And obviously this is a perfectly viable playstyle. Especially when you're playing a series, right? So this is a best of 5. Couple $100 on the line. hero must know at this point that this situation is very dire for him. And if that's the case, make him bleed. Pour a little bit of salt in the wound. Make him suffer here. Because this is one of those moments where, as a StarCraft player, you kind of want to GG out. Because you know it's going to be an uphill battle for the foreseeable future. So maybe getting more ahead is not such a bad idea. Well, that's a cute little play. I was actually wondering what would happen right there with the auto turret. Or, not the auto turret, the anti-armor missile, rather. Alright. Now, if you are in a scenario like this, though, and you are hero, and you know that it's gonna be a long game if your opponent decides to make it one, you also know you're in trouble if your opponent decides to attack you, you may as well take some chances. So I actually quite like this. Hero has just stopped making gateway units pretty much entirely. He's going for another Nexus, and he goes for 2 carriers at this point. So he's saying, yo, if Cure attacks me right now, I'm super dead. If Cure decides to move across the map, there is really nothing I can do. So this is Hero's army, and this has been Hero's army for like the last minute and a half. He decides to even send out the Zealots, so the army is just getting weaker. Cure, though, in the meantime, turtling up. Sprinkling Widow Mines around the map, setting up siege tanks in key locations, building missile turrets over here, and we'll probably see a sensor tower or 2 in just a moment as well. Oh my god, Cure, you could just go and attack. He's marching around, man. He's taking his little army for a walk now. It's kind of cute. He's got his Marines and his Marauders and his Ghost on Elite, and he's like, yo, it's time for your morning walk. It's important to patrol around the map, guys. It makes soldiers feel like soldiers. It improves morale. It does not necessarily on its own, though, obtain the victory. And now carriers are out. This gets scanned right here as well by Cure, who probably realizes that he had a good chance to attack for a while now. He's still in a phenomenal spot, though. Marines and Marauders decide to stem forward, but now suddenly this army is looking a lot more scary. We have an hallucinated Colossus in the mix. Okay, massive anti-armor missile. Do we have enough to push in here? Yeah, now it's a little scary. Pushing into the static defense. There's a Disruptor in the mix as well. Very difficult to make that call. Cure actually forced to back off. He did it himself, guys. I can feel bad for this Terran player here, but he honestly did it to himself. He didn't need to play it this passively, and now suddenly this game is a whole lot harder than it needed to be. Starport's coming up. Starport number 2 just finished up. +2, +2. Wouldn't mind seeing some air upgrades on the armory. Hero just happily expanding wherever you can. He's basically just making carriers and disruptors. Playing as greedy a style as possible, and it looks like it's paid off. Generally speaking, this would not really work at the pro level. Good luck trying to do this against somebody like, for example, Clem, or against somebody like, for example, Björn. They will be all over you with a bunch of Medivacs, but... yeah. Cure, for some reason, has decided to play StarCraft 2 more passively than I remember him doing in the past. And this has been a bit of a theme in all the Cure games. Okay. Honestly, this is looking like a really scary Protoss army. Upper ramp here as well is not my favorite location, but a lot of these Medivacs are out of energy. Actually, pretty much all the Medivacs here at the front at least were out of energy, so this bio army is very soft. Command centers flying around the map. This reminds me a lot of the ladder heroes that I play against. A lot of Terran players have, at least currently in my ladder games, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but in a lot of the games I've played, my Terran opponents don't have any intention of winning the game before minute 30. They're just chilling. They're just having a good time. You're ahead? Okay, that means another command center. You win a fight? Perfect. That's another command center. You're an upgrade ahead of your opponent? Perfect. That's another command center. I don't really know if it's the best way to play the game, if I'm being honest with you, though. Because these late-game Protoss armies are so much harder to control. than, like, control from the Terran's point of view, right? Than just a bunch of Stalkers and Zealots. Like, there's a lot of splash damage here. There's a lot of opportunity for the engagements to go terribly wrong. And honestly, I really don't mind herO's position now. Mothership, coming up. Templar Archives on the production tab. +3 air weapons, researching already. So herO's started up those air weapon upgrades, and I love that. Before he made any flying units. Another theme. Oh my god, look at this, man. It's like Curious playing Protoss versus Zerg in the late game. Where Zerg adds on 1 million spore crawlers. Okay. Well, it's only a bunch of missile turrets so far. And missile turrets cannot be salvaged, nor can they be repositioned, so it's a little bit more costly, I suppose, but Curious basically saying, I am planning on mining out this base, and if you don't like it, tough luck. Mothership going off on her own. Now, the Mothership has an ability called Mass Recall that allows her to recall this entire army, for example, towards the left side of the map. We're gonna have to keep an eye out. Maybe that's the plan. Terran's entire force right now is concentrated on the right side of the map. In the meantime, by the way, we have a lot of minerals being dumped right now into static defense as well for hero. Here's the recall, I think. There it goes. The entire Protoss army gets recalled towards the natural expansion of the Terran. A lot of damage here being done. Upgrades actually also over here. I wonder if targeting the NG Bay is the right call. Yeah, I was gonna say. Okay, we're only gonna target it for a little bit. Mothership ultimately ends up going down. Disruptors chilling on the ramp. Probably not where we want them. Colossi shooting at a supply depot of all things. I don't think that was perfectly managed, but Cure still dropping a ton of supply here. And actually, you know what? With more and more depots going down, he's gonna hit a big supply block. Indicator, of course, for him to put down more of those command centers. Okay. Yeah, Viking army decides to land now that pretty much all the flying units have disappeared. And what was a really cool move from hero suddenly backfires spectacularly. I don't like the disruptors chilling over there on the ramp. I don't like half the Protoss army going after the supply depots there either. Like, breaking into the natural expansion was nice, but it was more like one of those magic tricks, you know, where somebody jumps out of a box and you're like, ta-da! Here I am! It didn't really seem like there was any real follow-up. Hero just recalled from the right side of the map all the way to the left and then, yeah, just ta-da'd his opponent. Very impressive indeed. Then ultimately, though, the army there took a nosedive. Maybe getting into the main base would have been really good. Cure doing an excellent job microing against these Protoss units. Not really too impressed right there by hero's magic tricks. Slowly building up the Liberator count. And when I say slowly, I mean 6 at a time. Okay. We've seen some nice splits. That was not quite one of them. Okay. Dark Templar are soon gonna get their little ranged upgrade, or not their ranged upgrade. They wish they had a ranged upgrade. Their little blink upgrade instead. Yeah, one advantage, of course, here for Cure is that he's got a lot of orbital commands. So he can scan for days. Ooh, that could have been a disaster. So we have 8 orbital commands and 2 planetaries at this point in the game. So you can the Protoss army the entire time. Very, very handy. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of static defense here on the right side of the map, so I don't think there's really much that you can do. So ultimately, against this sort of army, you really do need to have, like, for example, a bunch of Tempest or... it's kind of tricky, right? Like, if there's this many Vikings out and you have to build... He does snipe the command center. If you have to... 17 Vikings. Nah, you can't really go for Tempest here. But ideally, against Liberators, that's kind of what you're looking for. Can't really make the transition in this particular game, though, because there's already so many Vikings. Kjør could try and be more aggressive, but again, that does not seem to be his forte. He decides to go for Tempest regardless. I thought the one Phoenix on the production tab earlier was kind of funny, but maybe it wasn't a misclick after all. This Giga Chat now responsible for his third medevac kill, it looks like. Well, he's gonna kill the entire clump. Whoa, alright. I think maybe it was made originally to deal with a bunch of Liberators, but... Speaking of them, they're all the way at the bottom of the map. Playing against Kjør feels like it would suck, man. Like, hero is trying his best, but ultimately, he's just bleeding out. Very slowly. Oh. Recall. Maybe it'll happen. Pylon ended up getting shut down, and that one wasn't just responsible for the warp-in, but also all of the structures here. Well, last time we saw a big recall in this game, the entire Protoss army died. This time around, though, was only a small chunk of the Protoss army, as the Stalkers are still maneuvering here on the left. Looks like the Protoss army might not even actually be enough. So many probes are going down as well, and this is ultimately the lifeline. hero does still have a expansion all the way at the 6 o'clock position, but the man is suffocating. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was a really, really nice pickup, though. That was like half a dozen Liberators going down. We're going back to Marines and Marauders. Kjør doesn't even have that much money. How has Kjør been mining this much but has this little money? I guess he just has a lot of energy on his orbital commence, so he can the entire game long. Oh, no, never mind. All right, he's also looking at his piggy bank. He's like, wait a second. My investments have not been getting their ROI. I've got a feeling Kjør will not report it to the tax authorities. Nah, he will not mention the mules. He's like, no, I built all of those orbital. I built all of those orbital commands specifically for scans. I promise you. In the meantime, he's secretly mining all the minerals out over here on the left side when nobody watches. Caught him on camera. Anyways, the entire base up north ends up getting destroyed. Same can be said right now for the 6 o'clock position. And you know what? This is not really that great of a game right now for Kjør. I don't know how we got to this point a second time around. Because he was 50 supply ahead, and then he was 50 supply ahead again. Plus he had like 2 more bases than his opponent. Okay. Remember when hero was making Tempest? And at the time, Kjør had like 17 Vikings already out, and I was like, it's not a great idea. That was like 2 minutes ago. Suddenly, right now, there are as many Tempests pretty much as there are Vikings. That planetary fortress is going to fall. Bio army coming in from the back. This is the first time I think he will see it. Is there enough, though? Disruptor is going to get targeted, but there are so many on the back of it as well. Terran army stims in from the front as well. Big EMPs do go down. Is there enough right now for Terran to break through all of this? I think there is. Oh my lord, okay. Kjør, for what seems to be the 4th time in this game, nearly 50 supply up on his opponent. Hero's been dragging himself up the mountain. Climbing with his fingertips. Holding onto the mountain by his teeth. But he's climbing up. But I think ultimately he's gonna come plummeting down again. There's another Colossus falling here as well. Oh, man. Kjør just wants to play the most cinematic StarCraft 2 there is. Oh, okay. Game number 2. We find ourselves on the map Heartlet. Maybe Kjør, he watched the Legacy of the Void opening cinematic with those epic Protoss warp-ins, and he plays games for the fans. Because that was one hell of a way to win a game of StarCraft 2, playing with my heart there, man. Making it what seems to be, in my mind, a little bit unnecessarily difficult for himself. But it did look spectacular in the end. Honestly, though, I wonder what would have happened if hero did not do his grand ta-da in the opponent's natural. with the Mothership, because that just seemed very, what the kids call mid. Yeah, he just recalled, and it looked really nice, and then he killed a bunch of supply depots and lost his entire army in exchange. Yeah, that was not quite the trade we were looking for. That would have been cool if he had, like, a push going on the right side of the map at the same time, too, right? So, say, like, I don't know, even a Zealot run by with, like, 10 Zealots on the right side of the map would have done really well, because the entire Terran army was pulled all the way back to the natural expansion. And yeah, hero just sort of did a push from his opponent's natural, and it just didn't do much. Like, ultimately, he fought in a choke point, right? So, not in love with that very cool looking move. Cure does this every time. So we saw that in game 1 as well of this series. He does a little loop-de-loop with that SCV that is charged with building the command center, just making sure that there's no barracks, or Protoss barracks, the gateway, over here, hiding behind the mineral line. MaxPax recently seems to be very fond of doing a lot of aggressive backstabbing, not just with Zealots, but also with a lot of Dark Templar. I guess hero just never really found his groove in that previous game, but I think it would have been nice. Cure playing very safe though, look at this. So, not actually scouting at all. Yeah, blind bunker here too, so he's not scouting on the other side of the map. He is checking for any proxy location on his side of the map. A little bit of a pylon on Provius' way out. Stargate coming up though in the meantime at home. Yeah, it's hard to go for those games where you go for Zealot run-bys or, for example, Dark Templar warp-ins when you don't have a good start as Protoss. It's tough. You need a lot of money in the bank. But he never really had a lot of money in the bank. Even though he had a chance to get back into the swing of things, it was still an uphill battle. Okay. What do you think? Will we see Cure go for a big attack pre-minute, I want to say 12. Do you think we're going to see him push before maxing out? Maybe a cheeky little Raven across the map, maybe a medevac or two, sure. We'll allow that. But do you think we're going to see a big attack from Cure? It just does not seem to be what he likes to do at the moment. Not that long ago, though, Cure was doing a lot of double-pronged pushing. So he was pushing on the left side of the map and then on the right side of the map with main armies and then dropping the main base too. So doing a lot of multitasking. And he still has some of the very best Terran versus Protoss in the world. It just seems like he is enjoying playing the game a little bit more passively. No. It's an interesting approach. Here comes the Oracle. Yeah, he's scared of a Widow Mine. Where are the Widow Mines? There is a Widow Mine. Oh, my lord. How did herO's see that, but I didn't? So, this is right before the Oracle comes in. Widow Mine decides to burrow. No, go to your spot. Wait, where did it burrow? I thought it burrowed right over there. Oh, it did, okay. Yeah, it burrowed just out of line of sight, so that is practically impossible to see. herO's... Do you think he saw that, or he just knew that it was very likely going to be there? You cannot tilt your camera any further than I am tilting there. Yeah, probably just instinct. Adepts in the meantime commit over here in the natural. Quite a few SCVs go down. Obviously, the man's been playing against randomly burrowed Widow Mines for a long time. Yeah, there's very likely a Widow Mine out at that point in the game, because there wasn't a Cyclone or anything like that. So, the Widow Mine had to be somewhere. And it was either going to be right over here with a second Widow Mine, or is that still the first? No, that's still the first. Anyways, it's either going to be right over here, or right over there behind one of those structures. Raven coming up. This time around, we are getting the interference matrix. Problem right here, though, for our Terran is that this time around he is going up against a Phoenix opener. I think Phoenixes are not a bad idea right here for hero. In my mind, he's very much so a blink toss type of guy. But if you're going up against somebody who's playing the game pretty passively, and who's been harassing you mostly with, like, you know, Ravens and Widowmine drops, maybe like a Liberator, something like that, right? A little bit later on into the game. Phoenixes are very good. Plus, Phoenixes usually, it feels like a bit more of a greedy opener. Usually it leads towards Colossus play. This time around, not quite the case, as we're actually going into the charge upgrade together with the armor right here. Anyways, so a little bit of a greedier opener, and it's not like Kira is really gonna go for like a super quick factory and then like almost like a one base aggression, right? Like that's a relatively popular style right now from Terrans, but not what Kira is going for. Phoenix openers can be pretty tough against that sort of thing. So now the gateways are coming up. Yeah, we did go for the additional gases. 2 probes in each gas. I wonder if that's a misplay or if it's on purpose here for hero. I'm inclined to imagine it's on purpose. We are gonna add on additional gases at this point. Okay, he did fill up the gases in the natural too. Must have been on purpose. Templar Archives. So good old Storm, together with Archons and Zealots. A match made in heaven. We have the Stimpak, the combat shields, and the +1 infantry weapons. This is the standard timing attack for Terrans for a very long time. You go and move across the map as soon as those upgrades finish up, which is happening right now. Is Cure going to move across the map? I don't actually know if he should. Because this is just as Protoss is also hitting his power spike. Well, would you look at that. Already, by the way, there is a gateway here at the bottom of the map. Storm is coming, but it will definitely not be done. Cure delaying his attack by quite a bit. Command Center will be flying on over towards the 3rd base location. Cure does not commit to a big attack. Alright. I think he's gonna attack for the first time at the 12-minute mark, guys. If you're a ladder hero, I recommend fighting every single time with +1 Stimpak and combat shields. It's just one of those skill checks that is very good. Because it's not necessarily very hard to disengage and go back home. Cure, just playing the most passive StarCraft 2 that I've seen in a while. Another Nexus coming up all the way to the top right-hand corner. We have the +2 here researching as well. Little bit of Viking harass. Viking lands, kills a probe, goes back. Okay. I don't know if I love a move out at this point, if I'm being honest with you, Cure. No damage really done by the Terran at all. No real damage done either, I guess, by the Protoss player, but obviously hero has had a 3rd base up for a very long time. 4th Nexus is finishing up, whereas Cure is only just now starting to mine from his 3rd base. So yeah, for the last couple minutes, ever since Terran really finished those upgrades. Oh, we have Storm available now, by the way. Ever since Terran finished those upgrades, hero's been ahead economically. Would have liked to see a couple of those High Templars saved again. Zealots wandering around the map. Oh, nice catch. Really good catch right here for Cure. Oh, Storm. Okay. Love seeing those High Templar chill right there inside of the prism. Is there enough firepower here, though, for a hero? I think just barely? I mean, as soon as reinforcements show up, there we go. Yeah, you will definitely have enough. Cure at this point is like, yo, I told you so, dude. I shouldn't have attacked. As soon as I attacked, I immediately lost my army. To be fair, though, that was kind of a meaningless timing, right? Like, it was a bit of an anti-timing. He's not going for an additional upgrade in the engineering bay. There is no armory built yet either, is there? No. So we're not getting any additional upgrades, which makes all of the progression here from Cure, once again, ridiculously slow. Hero does not seem too keen, though, on playing a long macro game. That Widowmine hit was pretty nice. No planetary, of course, at the 3rd base, because this is not Gold League. Sorry. Sorry to the Gold League players out there. Sorry. It's just that the amount of Eurogames that I've casted where the third base, or sometimes even the natural, gets turned into a planetary fortress, it grinds my gears a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, so I don't think hero wants to play the late game necessarily if he cannot avoid it. But Cure just turns out to be a very tough nut to crack. We start up a second upgrade at 10 minutes and about 35 seconds. That is so exceptionally late. Hero, in the meantime, has started up his 4th and his 5th upgrade in the Forge. Like, this is okay if Cure can once again drag the game to go on for a lot longer, because ultimately he will end up with the same units. Right? Because you can't go past 3-3, but I think this is too passive, man. Now, obviously, Cure understands this matchup much better than I do. And he's got to have his reasons for playing this passively. I just can't say that I'm a huge fan of it. Like, I can't tell if it's because he's very confident and he's like, yo, I don't need to play the mid game. I can just avoid playing the mid game. Really, Hero? What is this crazy move over here? Double Prism going into the main base. No Gravitic Drive yet. YOLOs it into the... That was a Hero move right there. The man saw blood in front of his eyes, okay? He's like, I'm gonna do it anyways. I see the Vikings. I know there's a missile turret. I'm gonna do it anyways. Alright, Hero. Yeah, I don't know if it's confidence or if Hero is just... Or sorry, if Cure is just not happy to play the mid game at the moment. Just a storm for good measure. +2 finally starts up. That is the second engineering base, so ultimately the upgrades will equalize. If Hero can prevent his opponent from getting a 4th base up, though, that is going to speed up this game quite a bit. I think that will probably be one of the plans. Yeah, try and get into the spot. So there's still a ton of energy available. Here come the Ghosts! EMP? Oh my god, he just EMP'd pretty much all of the Templar. I think there's 1 or 2 storms still available. But for some reason, Hero was grouping them all together. Now he's just rallying in a bunch of the Disruptors. SCVs do fall, but that was played into the hands of Cure. I've noticed in my commentary, I become more and more critical. It's just that earlier today, I cast a series between MaxSpecs and Clem. So I don't know exactly when this video and when that video will go up, but... I spent about 5 minutes talking about why MaxSpecs is so good in that particular video, and... I am now holding Hero to the exact same standard, but I think, at least lately, that I have been more impressed by Hero than I have been by Max, or no, I've been more impressed by MaxSpec rather than by Hero. Anyways, it's those little things that make all the difference. Now finally we fight, but we have no energy anymore on the Templar because the Templar all got EMP'd because they decided to go around the corner. There might still be enough stuff remaining though for Hero. Vikings land on the ground, but Purification Nova beautifully landed there in advance. Hero does indeed obtain the victory. Next up, we find ourselves on the map Golden Aura. I think what I'm gonna do is fast forward through the next 2 minutes or so. Because if I were to make a guess, we're gonna see Cure make an expansion on the low ground. He'll check right over here to see if there's like a proxy. Yep, see? And then we've got a Reaper coming out right about right now, and that Reaper is gonna go maybe across the map, but it will probably scout a little closer to home, unless he's seen the second pylon. He did see the second pylon in a natural expansion with his scouting worker. So the Reaper will indeed be going across the map. Okay. No proxy this time around from Hero. Will he be going Twilight Council or Stargate? So I think most of the time Hero seems to prefer Twilight Council openers, going straight into the Blink upgrade. But Stargate just makes a lot of sense. Although we're not making anything yet this time around. Hello. We're at 200 gas. hero? What? We're at 250 gas almost. Hero! Can somebody wake up hero? A Twilight Council with 300 gas in the bank. So this structure costs 100 gas. That's your limiting resource early on. Was he waiting for the Reaper to pop up over here? Okay, I'm gonna do the caster thing, and I assume that this will not be a mistake. Okay? I'm gonna do the caster thing where I will pretend like that was the greatest move of all time. So, what hero did there is that he waited for Cure to send that Reaper up towards the high ground. And as soon as Cure saw the lack of any structure here, any tech structure at both the front as well as inside of the main base, he just instantly assumed, yeah, that there's some sort of proxy going on. So Cure is scouting out his entire side of the map. Cure is gonna probably now play defensively, which he likes to do anyways. And because of that, hero's mind game is gonna pay off. But in reality, I think what happened there is hero messed up. Yeah, that's what I think happened. Yeah, that's, yeah. That's a very sloppy error, especially if we're now gonna chrono boost the blink research. So it's triple gateway here in total. I think we're just gonna expand. Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll pretend that it was a gigantic mind game. Would have been nice, though, to get the upgrade done over here in time. So, Cure actually taking a bit of a chance. He's seen the timing of additional gateways here. One of the structures ended up getting cancelled. So he doesn't know exactly what's going on in this game. It could definitely be that there's like a bunch of phoenixes just chilling. All right, and that'll be all Cure will do for the next 3 minutes. We're gonna chill, okay? Yeah, we're gonna just walk the Widow Mine in. We're gonna try and get some work done. But I don't think we're gonna see Cure move out before Stimpek at the very earliest moment. And that one is still a little while away. Combat shields. +1 infantry weapons a little late here. But ultimately those upgrades will finish up. So what are we going to use the blink for? Well, I think hero is also down to just play a passive game. Yeah, interestingly enough, he did go for 3 gateways. Could have probably done it with 2, but maybe just a little concerned. Cure is just tiptoeing around his opponents. Yeah, he just does not want to be hit. He does not want to incur any damage. You know, if I had to choose to be a Marine, right, in any pro gamer's army, first off, I would not want to be a Marine in Björn's army. Like, Björn does not take good care of his Marines at all. He will just send them in. If there's no room in the medevac, he will not even bother picking you up. He will not come back for you, okay? I think I would want to be a Marine in Cure's army. Oh. Whoa! That was a sick lag spike. What was that? Are we good? Okay. I have not experienced a lag spike in a StarCraft replay in a very long time. Oh no. Is this the first sign of Lowko needing a new computer? We're gonna have to make a mental note of that one, because that never happens to me. Anyways. Time to get a new PC. One little lag spike is all it takes. In order to play this game from 2010, what I really need is the latest hardware, okay? Even though StarCraft 2 only uses a single core, I'm gonna need a top-of-the-line graphics card and GPU for it. Yeah. Like, if your computer can't run at least 6 instances of StarCraft 2 on max graphics, are you even playing the game? Anyways, what I was saying is I want to be a Marine in Cure's army. He seems to take good care of them. Yeah. They get to hang out, they get to march around the map. Sometimes use some combat drugs for a little bit, you know? Stab themselves with a little bit of Stimpek. Maybe what I need to do is install Windows XP on this computer instead. Like StarCraft 2 was intended, you know? Did we still run Windows XP in 2010? I don't remember. We do have a little bit of an attack right here from hero. He's trying to see if he can potentially kill the CC, but he stopped targeting already. Ultimately, though, cancel on the command center to get those Marines and Marauders to come through. Warp in behind his army. What in the world was that, hero? Hero was like, bro, just warp in. Just, you see those Marines, those dudes with their guns? Just warp in right above them. That was not great. No. No. No, it was something. But great was not what it was. Yeah, after careful consideration, I can confirm that that was one of the attacks of all time. Kira is now looking, oh my god, I was gonna say, for an all-out attack. So the third is gonna have to be broken. He was thinking about bringing all the boys. Stalker's going around the site. Medevacs get targeted down over here. Kira wanted to actually just go for an all-in here. Third CC starts up instead. Couple force fields here, breaking through this reasonably well, but reinforcing Protoss units will ultimately shut this down. My god. Oh, wait a minute! Okay. Not bad. So. Cure with a very nice advantage. Albeit not really an economical one, despite the amount of work that he just did. Because his expansions are just so late. In game number 1, whenever Cure found himself in this position, he would add on another command center. Will we see him add on another command center at this point? This SCV, I think it just removed the scaffolding off of that CC there. Okay, we're gonna go for an armory. No, he's just playing the macro game. Yeah. So we're gonna just look to get 2-2 started eventually. Man, that was such a hero moment just now. What was even the idea? Right, so he pushed over here at the front. Bio army was located over here. He's like, well, I'm gonna warp in with my prism right over there. I guess it would work if Cure did not look at that army. But that's the only instance where I can imagine that warp in working out. I do love Hero for his hero moments. I just don't think it was a particularly powerful move, but it looked impressive. Oh, okay. Well, Cure securing his advantage even more now. 10 additional workers go down. Ghost Academy starts up. We'll probably see some additional barracks here, or another command center. Probably another command center, now that I'm saying that out loud. This move out as well is also a lovely hero move out. 4 sentries, like 5 zealots, and then a bunch of colossi. Sounds like the beginning of a bad joke. 4 sentries, 5 zealots, and 2 colossi walk into a bar. Okay. We are not attacking with a prism though, which makes me very concerned. The previous prism the man had, he YOLO'd into the Terran army. Is he actually gonna get rewarded here with a command center? Reinforcing Colossus just walking in. We have so much money in the bank though, and we can't warp in right now. Couple zealots coming in from the back. We do have a little bit of a counter attack as well with a Widowmine drop. Colossi ultimately fall. Hero is not able to reinforce his army because he doesn't have a prism. He does kill 18 SCVs, so that's really nice. Command center is still alive though. Cure. Oh god, Cure, it's burning down. Okay, he does start repairing it. These guys are just throwing dirt at each other the entire time. Cure has been brought down to the same level. He wanted to play honorable Terran macro games in game number 1. And he ended up winning it. Now suddenly though, he's grappling in the dirt with Hero. Yeah. I don't like it. This is what hero does to a man. Maybe that War Prism YOLO was actually on purpose, just to get Cure to come out of his shell a little bit, you know? Come on, bro, here, let's play. Have 600 of my minerals. Would have been nice. Alright, well suddenly Cure is playing the game. At least a little bit more actively. I also don't think I like it all too much though. Now the Colossi are once again able to shoot across this, well, whatever this is. I have no idea what's going on Golden Aura. I still feel like Golden Aura needs to be 2 words, but what do I know? Widowmine is going to be able to refire in the main base. Got a couple more probes, but... Oh, hero going around the corner. One of the Colossi, I was going to say, currently loaded into the Prism. How did hero just still win this? This has been a disaster of a game, but... I think he still does it. Cure's economy is just so bad at this point, you know? I can't believe he threw away that entire army. I mean, he got some decent trades. It wasn't really throwing away, but... That was such an unfortunate engagement by hero, and he still manages to claw back like 5 minutes later. Next up, we find ourselves on the map Hecate. Standard openers from both players once again. Will hero make a tech structure right about right now? Normally what you do is you really try to organize your early game as much as possible. We have 150 gas now for a Stargate. Okay, alright. I'm just remembering the 3.5 minute Twilight Council from the previous game. How in the world did hero still win that match, by the way? That was one of the games of all time. I think Cure kind of played himself a little bit too, where he was so confused about what was going on, which I guess is the effect that hero sometimes has on people, that ultimately he just fell behind. Because he killed a lot of probes that game too. I guess he also lost a ton of SCVs, but... Yeah. Alright, Cure. Time to go back to basics. I've been criticizing the passive play because I think it's kind of boring, but it's also very effective. I mean, as long as not every single Terran player out there plays the most passive style possible, I shouldn't be too critical, right? If every single Terran versus Protoss just kind of began at minute 12, that would kind of suck. But right now it's kind of, yeah, it seems to be mostly Cure who's playing the more passive style. And he's still mixing it up, of course. Okay. Cyclone does finish up one little lock-on. Yeah, Terrans overall are becoming more passive, though. I still feel like Cure is kind of like the best example of the most passive Terrans at the moment, but Terrans are becoming more and more passive over time. This is the nature, though, of balance patches in StarCraft 2. Usually, especially... Probius, what are you doing? Are you sniffing? Are you a... Probius might be a dog. Yeah. Anyways, what was I saying? I'm all distracted by Probius. All right, yeah, generally speaking, whatever a StarCraft 2 balance patch is around for a little while. Probius is a sniffer, guys. Don't judge. It's okay. At some point, the meta will settle a little bit, right? And all of the crazy build orders are kind of figured out. And we go back to a good old standard. A map pool can change it up quite a bit. So if you have to play on different maps, sometimes new strategies are suddenly viable. I would actually like to see, like, a mid-season map update, too. Like, for example, I feel like these bases, so there's 2 of them on Hecate, are completely pointless. So this is the first time in StarCraft 2's history that we have blue minerals and golden minerals alternating. It doesn't do anything. I wouldn't mind if, like, we saw a little update. Anyways, Oracle swooping in, okay. Hero not down to play a macro game this time around. He just wants to jump this army and get it over with fast. Those Cyclones, though, still packing a bit of a punch. I don't like this. 4 SCVs going down in total. That was one hell of an army to just throw away. Okay, Cure. We've got ourselves a timing attack lined up. there will be barely any Protoss units available by the time that all these upgrades finish up. I think we could go and attack right now. Oh, free Oracle? No. We could go and attack right now. We could also wait until those upgrades are done. Really? We're just... Okay. He decides to put down another command center. Medevac start up. Oh no. We're actually stimming? That's an expensive stim. I think this is a one-way trip for a lot of these dudes. Reinforcing Terran units are coming across the map at this point. That was one of the move-outs of all time. Kure does not really seem to care currently very much about his upgrades finishing. So he just sort of moved with one of the 3 upgrades finishing up. And now the entire timing window is closed, right? Like, we can still go for an attack now, but it would be a push with like 10 less Marines or so. Maybe not 10. But less powerful than it could have been. Okay. Robotics facility. Zealots together with a sentry get warped in over here. Medevac drop queued all the way towards the right side of the map. Stalkers blink into the main base. So this is the latest Stalker push that I've seen in a while. Because this started off, of course, with that Oracle Adept shenanigans. Yeah. It's a nice attempt, but ultimately it's just here to put on a little bit of pressure. Mules will land. Minerals will be mined here, and I don't think there's a whole lot hero can do about it. Charge coming up. +1 ground weapons will be finishing up as well in a little bit. And hero is just gonna go for a 4th Nexus here, okay. Medevac drop has finally made its way towards the other side of the map. A recall instantly gets used. It's gonna be the Stalker clump over here. By the time it gets into the main base though, 5 probes have disappeared and so have that, well, so has that Terran army. Those lads, victory drink over here. Lovely work. This is a good push right here from Clem, or from Kure. He probably wishes he was Clem at the moment, I'm not gonna lie. I've been casting so many Clem games as of late that apparently every Terran now is Clem. No, nice move right there from Kure. Yeah, I think he had a glimpse of those zealots. Would have been really nice if he saw those as well, but just shutting down that 4th Nexus is incredibly helpful. Yeah, because now suddenly hero is not in such a good economical spot anymore. What do you do now as Protoss here? I'm not exactly sure. I think what a lot of Protoss players choose to do in these moments is to slowly die over the course of the next 10 minutes. That seems to be the standard Protoss go-to option whenever their 4th base goes down. Like, they won't lose the game immediately, but they will move over the, yeah, they will lose over the course of the next 10 minutes or so. That's usually the go-to approach from Protoss players. Maybe hero can come up with something. Pretty early stimpec right there from Kure, who's just happy to go for an attack once again. Shut down the 4th Nexus. This time around on the right side of the map another time. Okay, pushing into the main base. Stalkers are over here, but they're sleeping. Lads! Smoke break. You gotta respect the smoke break, Kure. Okay, well, smoking's bad for your health, but so is dying. Zealots in the meantime get cleaned up. Push over here as well. This is the Kure I love to watch, man. Multi-pronged aggression. Trying his very best to deal as much damage as possible. Forgetting a medevac. You love to see it. A lot of probes over here, though. End up going down. I think you just target the forge here, too. Maybe even the probes. Yeah, maybe a retarget to the probes again, too. Hero loves playing these type of games. Yeah, we go from Kure, who started off this series wearing like a full suit. He had like a tie and everything, you know. Looking very dapper, ready to play this particular finals. And by the end of the series, whenever anybody goes up against Hero, He's looking disheveled. There's mud all over his shirt. His lip is swollen. He's bleeding in multiple places. It gets very messy. The Cure we're watching here in this game is very different from the Cure in game number 1. Oh my god, look at that Phoenix YOLOing in. Yeah, the buttons from his shirt are all gone. The tie is somewhere on the floor. Does hero have enough to actually push through this? Because this has not been a good game for him. He's resupplying the 4th base now. I mean, resupplying might not even be the right word, because he lost it twice. That's a lot of Marauders, though, putting in a lot of work. SCVs have decided to sacrifice themselves. Colossus will live for a little bit longer, it looks like, but the Marauder count might just be big enough. Zealots eventually do show up, but that Colossus goes down. Okay, GG. That means we are going to game number 5. So it all comes down to this. Solaris. Our final game for this particular ESL Open Cup Grand Finals. Probe gets sent across the map pretty much right away. Okay, we're gonna have to keep an eye out on that bad boy. The Max Specs opener is not very popular anymore. Nah, it's not gonna be the Max Specs opener. This may just be what we saw in the previous... When was that? Was that game number 1? I think so. Yeah. So it's pylon, gateway, pylon into what will probably be another gateway. Now, Cure has been doing this little woohoo every single time he makes an expansion, you know? Woohoo with the SCV. Will he do the woohoo this time around too? That's the question. It'll be nice for him to know. He's decided to skip the SCV scout for now. The SCV scout rather for now. Did he do? Okay, no. We're not done yet. That was the probe going in. That probe is pretending, by the way, that this is just a regular scout timing. Like, I'm just a probe. I definitely did not just build a bunch of stuff on your side of the map. Oh. Are you gonna do it? Are you gonna do the woohoo? He didn't do it, chat! Wait. No, he doesn't do it. So that's actually quite painful. Hero somehow, some way has brought Cure all the way down to his level. Now that is to say, a very chaotic level. That is... How does this work? Cure has done it every time. Reaper, no. Are you kidding me right now? Well, now he sees it. Insta-cancel on the command center. Zealot goes across the map. Oh no. Oh, he's still scouting around with a proxy, he's scouting for proxies right here with the SCV. It's only a single gas opener as well here for Cure. He's got a lot of money in the bank, but not spending it. He wanted to go for a command center. He's gonna need to go for like a supply depot soon as well if he wants to continue macroing in his game. No reactor or anything like that. This gets very messy. Yeah, we go for a command center, so he's not really respecting this push all too much. It's probably okay, but... Reaper's going across the map right now. Yeah, I love using the shades right here for high ground vision. Or the adepts. Can we not just like tiptoe one of them? Yeah, this is nice. This is good enough. Alright. Anyways, not the end of the world, of course, here for Cure. But you can definitely tell that he is a little flustered at this point. I actually think this is a fine position for him to be in. Maybe not being the flustered part, but as far as the gameplay situation goes. I can't believe he went for the proxy gate. He must be aware of the fact that Cure checks for this sort of thing every time. So this is basically the best case scenario, right? Was that worth the gamble right here for Hero? Because I've got a feeling it's got like a 30% probability of working out. And if this is the best case scenario, is it really that great? Why go for tried and true strategies when you can play a rock, paper, scissors instead, you know? Well, that gateway is done now. This aggression is certainly not over yet. We're building a bunch of add-ons here. Cure actually doesn't have that many units. Another barracks is coming up. But we're certainly not going to see Stimpak here anytime soon. Okay. I've always got a feeling, and I may be wrong, that it's mostly the top-tier Koreans that love playing this very gambly style. Isn't gambling banned over in Korea? Or at least, I think casinos in general are? I'm not exactly sure on the specifics there, but... The StarCraft pros that I like to watch definitely enjoy a little bit of rock, paper, scissors in their gameplay, at the very least. Siege tank is available. Cure coming across the map with whatever he's got. I love that Widowmine getting ferried a little bit longer, pretending that the plane was already empty. Gets a bunch of probes. Okay, 5 probes right here. Don't lose the medevac, though. Don't lose the medevac. Okay. What was... What happened? Hold up. I just want to look at the life story of that cyclone. Where did that cyclone come from? Was that the first cyclone? No. I'm conf... Did he let it go? What happened to that? Oh no, he just drove all the way around. And then he decided to... Okay. No, he tried going back home. For some reason, the hot pickup was not for him. I got a little confused right there. I thought for a second it was like a reinforcing cyclone. That unit accepted its fate there, right there at the very end. Okay. Well, finally, Cure is gonna attempt to secure the base. Yeah, I think that was a sacrifice right there on that cyclone to try and save the medevac. Which may be the most heroic thing that we've seen all series. So we do have an aggressive blink forward right there. A bunch of stalkers fall, though. One siege tank did also go down. A bunch of the marines right now in some trouble. hero does not want to give up on this particular gateway that he built here a while ago. Yeah, he's married to this gateway. He loves this gateway very much. Siege tank is in range though, so I've got a feeling ultimately it will fall. Did I just call Cure Clem again? I did call Clem, or I did call Cure earlier. I think I may have just called him Clem again. This is what I get from casting too many Clem games. Anyways. hero trying to maximize the damage here inside of the main base. Picking up the weakened units as much as possible. This is the most chaotic cast that I've done in quite a while. Yeah. To be fair, though, you can tell that Cure is a little bit flustered by hero's playstyle. Maybe I am as well. It all ties in together. The games get chaotic, the cast gets chaotic too. Don't lose the prism, please. What? Okay. Alright. Ultimately, it looks like Cure has stabilized. Yeah. We now have what seems to be a two-base Colossus situation. The thing about Cure, though, is that, like, Clem, obviously his nickname starts with the exact, what is this, like 7 or so characters as well. So if I glance at the bottom of the screen and I see a Terran player playing, I guess I autopilot and I'm like, Liquid Cure. Yeah. Anyways. In my defense, I've also only been playing and casting this game and following these pro gamers for about a decade, so you can't really expect quality at this point, you know? Maybe in 2029. Probably not. No. As a matter of fact, good chance the more I cast, the sloppier the casts are going to be. Yeah. Old age. I'm gonna be Grandpa Loco before too long. The ripe age of 31. Oof. Wait, am I 31 or 32? No, I'm 31. Yeah, you know, I'm 31. I had to do the math. Alright, Colossus is coming. I think we already have, yeah, 2. I was gonna say, we should already have a bunch of them. A ranged upgrade is coming up. Now it's done. Cure has got the bigger army, but Hero is the one who is ready to be aggressive. Third Nexus is going to finish up. This is a bit of a weird situation, because generally Protoss only gets to this particular point when they already have 3 base economy. And generally speaking, it's the Terrans who are trying to prevent the Colossi from really getting underway by pushing into it off of 2 bases. Now we have 2 bases versus, yeah, 2 bases. And I guess that is prompting Cure to just chill for a little while. He did make a 3rd command center himself too. So, yeah, Orbital Command is going to finish. Really, we're gonna hallucinate a Colossus. Don't we have a 3rd Colossus somewhere? Oh, that guy is gonna show up in a moment. It happened again. Sorry, I'm just gonna back up. Pay special attention to this very special prism. In the previous game, or in this series earlier, we saw the prism YOLOing in, trying to warp in Zealots above Marines. So we have another Colossus, by the way, on the back of this too. We could... Wait. Anyways, this time around, the prism. There you go. Insta-dice. Bit of a Diamond League moment right there, where Hero decided to use the all-army hotkey to send everything he's got towards the other side of the map. Yep. Okay. Invaded the skin! Well, that's funny. Cure wanted to make sure that that siege tank indeed was dealing way more damage than it should against a regular Colossus. Cure's probably playing these last couple games, basically thinking to himself, what's going on right now? Like he's squinting at his monitor. Very confused about the progression of these games. Okay. Well, where do we end up? Cure, 20-ish supply ahead. We've got 3 base versus 3 base. 4th Nexus coming up right now. Cure even has a worker lead at this point in the game too. Significant advantage because of all of this for our Terran player. Yeah, he's just harassing, so we have a little Widow Mine drop over here. Oh, one of the Widow Mines apparently did not get dropped out of the plane! Oh, 9 workers end up going down. Okay, so Cure just... Jeez. We have the great old Widow Mine shuffle over here. That's a TikTok dance I can get behind. Anyways. There's still one Widow Mine over here inside of the plane at this moment. He ended up securing his advantage now, very nicely. Did I call him Clem again? Oh my god. You know what we need? Slightly different usernames. That would help. Anyways. Cure trying his... We need like, at least like 2-syllable names. Yeah, if we have comparable Terrans with comparable nicknames, it would be great if one of them can go... Maybe I should call Clement instead or something. We do have the Disruptors dealing a bunch of damage. That was actually nice right there by Hero. Stalker's going across the map. Or is he just trying to slow down this push? Cure has been building up this army for a while. Oh, Disruptors through the green zone do speed up twice as fast. The Purification Novas are very quick, so you actually have to be careful right here as the Terran player. Okay, the Disruptors though get all army hotkeyed forward because I guess the focus right there was on the prism. Yeah, Cure decides to retreat. That was pretty pricey. Raven over here, followed by the Medevac. I think you guys might be needed at home. I would not mind seeing a couple of anti-armor missiles or something like that. Cure's army is not looking nearly as impressive now as it did just moments ago. I mean, this is a strange choke point right here to fight into. We have that hero Banshee from earlier, not really achieving anything. Ultimately, she falls. SCVs are pulled away from their mineral lines too. Loads of them are dying. Vikings are popping out of the starports and they're immediately set to work on all of those colossi. Well, they have all fallen. But that was expensive. 17 workers go down. Okay. Ooh. It's so fast. Yeah, no, it's very dangerous. That moment when Max Verstappen takes over the disruptor right there for just a moment. Accelerating in the corners. You love to see it. Trying to hit the apex of that turn here. Okay, Cure moves up to the high ground. Loads of probes are gonna go down. 4th Command Center flying on over towards the right side of the map. I think the Nexus is done for if he decides to target it. Oh my god, big purification nova. That was like half of the Terran army, actually. This is actually very substantial. A lot of damage was done to the Nexus, but it's not down just yet. Another Nova, once again, available once more, but we do have, yeah, the Marines getting picked up. Reinforcing Protoss units do show up. Jimmy there with 1 health, okay. Ultimately, this is a justified attack right here for Cure. He manages to snipe the Disruptors as well. Prism ends up going down. Okay. I think Cure has done it. Yeah, I think Cure has done it. He had to get dirty. He had to try his very best, and he had to change up his entire playstyle. But ultimately, it's our Terran player who obtains the victory. And to clarify, our Terran player is called Cure. It's not Clem, guys. I may have called him Clem a couple of times. I think I have anyways. It's Cure.